All right, President Trump working out to hammer a deal as the government remains shut down and Democrats refusing to budge.
So, Mr. President, President Trump, if you want to open the government, you must abandon the wall. Plain and simple.
To be clear, Democrats are not going to agree to any funding to build new border wall? None?
That's correct. None.
Fantastic. Are these children or are they adults? Mercedes Schlapp is in the White House. She's the director of strategic communications and often probably wonders, why did I take this job?
Oh, Mercedes. I love my job.
I know you do. So where's the give there? I heard Mick Mulvaney open up to Chris Wallace and say, we were at 5, they were at 1.3, maybe it's around $2 billion. What do you say?
Look, this is part of the negotiation deal. So at this point, as Mick Mulvaney had mentioned, it's really up to the Democrats in the sense that we've offered them a deal. We'll see what they come back with. Our goal is to get somewhere between 1.6 and 5 billion. I mean, this is so ironic that it's the Democrats, like Schumer, who said that we need strong border security, where Durbin has said that we need to find a bipartisan solution to border security, yet they are not willing to budge, at least at this point, in terms of providing funds for physical barrier in that area. And as we know, illegal crossings have increased over 90% in the last 2 months. And you've seen the issue with the caravan. That's been a huge crisis on the border. And the mere fact is that at this moment, if we want to make border security a bipartisan issue, the Democrats need to step up to the plate. It's up to them to stop the shutdown.
Well, and Mercedes, this is President Trump's signature issue. Clearly, Trump supporters want the wall. Do you worry that it would have a demoralizing effect on his base if he does not deliver it?
Look, this is not about the president's base. This is about the safety of the American people. As we know, President Trump has talked time and time again about the importance of securing our border. We want to stop the inflow of drugs into our country, which impacts communities, American communities across the country and our youth. We want to stop human trafficking. This is an issue that impacts, again, American communities, areas both urban and rural. And we also want to focus on stopping illegal immigration. I mean, there is an orderly process. There is a legal process. We are a nation of laws. We want to ensure that we're able to stop what we keep seeing, which is this continual and increased flow of illegal immigrants. I mean, this is what you've seen, for example, with the caravan, which time and time again has been thousands of people waiting to come into the United States.
Mercedes, I want to ask you about another topic, and that is Secretary Mattis, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, signing an order withdrawing troops from Syria, something that he advised the president against. Now the president really running up the departure date for Mattis by January 1st, and it's got a lot of people wondering what's going on there.
Well, first of all, I think the president made a campaign promise. It was very much people knew from the beginning what his position was on Syria, which was to bring the troops home at the right moment. And what we have seen is pretty much the destruction of the territorial caliphate in Syria. He, at this point, said, we got to bring our troops home. So this is something where the president listened to many people in the process and made this decision to move forward on Syria. With that, he had a call with the Turkish President Erdogan on basically this issue of basically a slow withdrawal, making sure that they have the logistical support to ensure that they continue to get rid of any of the remains of the caliphate in Syria. Obviously, the safety of our troops is a top priority. It's time to bring the troops home.
Can you name an advisor the president has that recommended he pull out 2,000 troops?
I'm not going to get into the internal discussions of how the decision was made. At the end of the day, we all serve in the position of advising the president. It is up to the president to make the final decision. We knew from the moment he started in his campaign where he stood on Syria, which was that we were going to ensure the defeat of the territorial caliphate in Syria. Right. And the president and this administration, our troops have done that. And so now it's this opportunity to bring our troops home with a slow withdrawal back to the United States and really focus in on ensuring that it is about keeping our troops safe. We have done our job there, and it's time to move forward.
Is there frustration on the president's part, Mercedes, that this is being blown out of proportion?
You know, I think that the president feels very strongly about his decision in Syria. He last week met with both members of the Senate and the House, Republican members of the Senate and the House, to have this conversation about Syria, and he made his case to them. You know, obviously, when it's the senators, they have their own opinion as to, and many of them are very hawkish, and they have their own opinion on how Syria should be handled. For the president, he's looked and obviously consulted many people in the process and has made the decision that we have done our job in Syria, and it's time to bring the troops home.
Yeah, we're up
and he's
against the
working
clock.
with the Turkish president to ensure that they are able to take on the role of getting rid of ISIS in the area.
But they never have. But does he talk to the Turkish president about not annihilating the Kurds? Did he get guarantees that the Kurds who have been doing our fighting will not be destroyed?
Right. He sent a very strong message to the Turkish president. In fact, we know that the Turkish president invited both John Bolton and General Joe Dunford to go to Turkey to continue these conversations. Okay. Again, we will be there to provide logistical support for the Turkish forces and ensure, again, that they are able to focus on defeating ISIS in Syria.
All right, Mercedes, now what you have left to do is have a Merry Christmas, and we will make sure your husband, Matt, takes care of that promptly.
Okay, that sounds great. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mercedes.
Merry Christmas to you.